It's time for a quickie, and in the spirit of quickies, Tom, I've got a quick little bit of news for everybody. We're taking a break.
Yes, we need a breather.
We've been doing this for four and a half years. I think we started September 4 years ago. So, 4.5 years. And in that time, we have released content nonstop. And we're going to continue that because we're so great. This is what we're doing. Our plan is that you're going to get a few weeks of quickie episodes instead of some main episodes. So we're going to record a bunch of quickies to make sure that you still get the content that you know and love weekly, so there's no jonesing for a fix.
That's right.
We're still looking after you.
We'll be here but not here, if that makes sense. Don't worry.
Don't worry. It's fine. We love you.
We just need some fluids. We need a little sleep.
We need a big sleep.
All of these quickies. Over 100 quickies. Are you kidding me? And then we're going to do some more.
We need a very big nap after all those quickies.
I need to limber up again. So we will be back, ladies and gentlemen, in the full format, full review. But for now, a little break. But we've got business to attend to on this here quickie of Ghosts of Boyfriend's Past. Yes,
it's a questions episode, and I've got a question that I would like to ask you in the form of a news story. So I read a news story today on at 7news.com.au.
Yes, fantastic.
So a wife has sparked fury after discovering that her husband was secretly paying off her diamond engagement ring using funds from their joint bank account. Okay, so basically, she's going, la, 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 love my ring, it's fantastic. And then she found out after we married and merged our funds that he'd been withdrawing funds from our joint account to finance this ring. I was taken aback and honestly put off by the fact that he is making me pay for a gift that he gave to me. And we've been having some arguments lately. And he feels like the ring is a wedding expense and it's only fair that I contribute towards it too, and that a woman of this day, I shouldn't hesitate to be an equal partner. Am I being an asshole for feeling like shit about it?
I can see a kind of validity from his angle where it's like, hey, you want to get married to me, you get a big shiny ring, maybe it's a little, I can see that. But is it not established law that you want to, if you're going to ask someone to maybe be your wife or husband, that you cough up to the ring?
Here's the thing, right? I don't give a shit who pays for the ring as long as you've both communicated and agreed upon it.
Yeah.
That's my issue, right?
Yeah,
I think he has a point in that it is a wedding expense, and if she is amenable, yes, it's a grand gesture and it would feel lovely for someone to give a big, fantastic ring. But if my husband that does not exist had sat down and said to me, hey, look, I would love to marry you, but wedding rings are a huge expense, engagement rings are a huge expense. So we can either go for a simulated ring that I will purchase for you, or would you be okay with us both putting it down as a wedding expense, but not telling her is where I think he has absolutely fucked up here.
He's had a misstep there. So it's probably an archaic idea that one person must pay for 100% of the wedding ring and do it. It's
nice
fine.
if you can afford it. It's nice. But I just think she wouldn't have been as pissed off had she had a little heads up, not found out. I wouldn't want to be like, oh my God, thank you for the beautiful car that I bought me.
No, I agree with you. The sort of wisdom is sound, but the application was
communicate.
Was wrong. Yes, communicate.
You dickheads.
That kind of leads nicely into my first question, Liz.
Right.
You mentioned off the top that we've been doing this for 4.5 years.
Yes.
And it's kind of a podcast review time for us. What have we learnt? What have been the biggest things that you've learned in that you've taken from this show and sort of taken to your real life out in the real world? Communication. We wrap up there.
This is the thing. I always knew to communicate, but I didn't think I had the strength or power. I didn't feel as empowered to communicate as I do after having done this podcast for 4.5 years, right? I, to myself, would be like, what's the harm texting someone too soon? But I still wouldn't do it. Nowadays, I would do it because I have the wisdom of if it scares somebody away, then they're not my person, and that's a win-win, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think having talked through so many different dilemmas, it's less of a lesson learned and more of confidence found.
No, that's fine.
That makes sense.
Totally fine. And I think my lesson from communication is it doesn't have to be as daunting or as scary when you have to talk to someone about an issue, not just your romantic partner, your friend, your family.
Yeah.
I used to, I don't know, have this idea or feeling that, okay, I need to talk to someone about this. This is going to be big. But why? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But it doesn't... I find I sit down with my partner now and we'll have a talk about something that needs discussing, and we get to the other end and we're like, oh, that was pretty harmless. We're fine,
Yeah.
So not only is communication kind of essential.
Because there's no pressure cooker situation. If you were discussing the little things that you need to talk about along the way, there's no big build up, there's no anticipation, there's no like... It's the longer you don't talk about something, the scarier it gets.
You can attach your own anxiety. You can bring your own anxiety baggage to it and overshadow so communication would be one.
I want to ask our dear readers and I'm going to post this in the group. Zane, producer, please, goddamn, remind me to post it in the group. Now. I want to know what are the lessons that have stuck with you in the 4.5 years of us doing this podcast. What are the lessons that you remember or that you've passed on to others? Yes. What wisdom have you imparted going, see, I listened to this podcast called Ghosts of Boyfriends Past and Tom and Liz said... blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, or this...
Or Zane said, more likely.
Yeah, then Zane actually came on and put them straight.
And then he said the real thing that mattered.
Knocked their heads together like a couple of coconuts. Yes, because there's been hundreds of stories on this podcast, and we've attempted to pick apart lessons from each one. So there you go, very interesting. Elizabeth.
I have a long situation, well, not a long, but like it's a proper situational question for you.
Okay.
And I found this on Reddit for, what's the word? Attribution. I can't, it's been a really big day. I know I'm a journalist and words are my trade, but it's like as soon as I clock off, my brain goes, me no wordy now. Mm-hmm. I, 30 male, sent the woman that I'm seeing, 25 female, a very simple text message, which she said was the most romantic thing that anybody has ever said to me. Can somebody please explain to me why? Okay, let me tell you the full story. Oh, yeah. So I'm seeing this woman who really loves Lord of the Rings movies. It's her all-time favourite. She loves the soundtracks, everything, etc. One night we're laying in bed and we're watching the new Amazon Prime Rings of Power TV series. Mm-hmm. And just for me doing that, she told me, I really loved that, hun. So today I sent her an article over iMessage about the new Lord of the Rings movies being made. They're going to make 2 more. And she replies that she's super excited. I can't even begin to explain the level at which I'm freaking out, she says. I replied with, I knew you would. Of course I thought about you immediately when I saw that article. And her reply was then, that is the most romantic thing that anybody has ever said to me, with that like, little wide-eyed, like
little teary
wide-eyed smiley emoji. Blah, 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 blah. In the context of the full text exchange, not fully shown, and me personally knowing her, this was not in a joking manner. She said it absolutely seriously, and I'm quite baffled. Keep in mind, she's had a few boyfriends she's been with, and she's had a ton of male attention because she's crazy attractive. I say this only to bring context to the fact that there's no lack of men who've spoken to her, so it absolutely shocks me that this is the most romantic thing anyone has ever said to her. Maybe I'm dense. But can anyone please jump in and tell me how this is possible? Can a woman jump in and tell me what compliments you usually get with things men say to you that really stand out to you? Thank you. Now, as a woman, Tom.
Yes, I was waiting for you to jump in.
As a woman, it's not what you said, but that you thought of her unprompted.
Yes, that's pretty...
It's basically that... It's the fact that you listened to something that she said, you felt like you saw something that reminded you of her, and you sent that. And you look, honestly, I know it seems like a really low bar. I know. And that's because it is, Tom.
Yes, that was going to be my input. I've lamented with a close friend of mine that the bar for us is laughably low. Like, basically, you just show up and be a little interested in the person like that, and you're hurdling over that bar. Yeah. It is shatteringly low. So the guys that she's mingled with before you just didn't. And if she's
crazy hot, they're probably douchebags.
Yeah, maybe. Now, but showing clocking an interest of hers and I don't know.
And being excited about it with and for her. Now, in the meantime, Zane has pulled down the microphone, turned up his volume levels, and been working away to get on mic after saying, I'm not coming on mic today, guys.
Thoughts, questions, concerns?
I wanted to express my dissatisfaction with how low the bar is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like attractiveness aside, like there can be attractive men who aren't douchebags, but like I'm also baffled with the original poster here because like if that is the most romantic thing that's anyone's ever said, that's so minimal effort.
Yeah.
And if no one's done that for her before, I'm glad that she's got you now.
Yes, well done.
Absolutely.
Now that you know that will get you brownie points, wow, is she going to love a big gesture?
Yeah,
whoa.
Holy dooly.
I saw this TikTok the other day where someone was like, what it's like dating in 2024, and they were having coffee, and she's like, so what is he like? And she's like, well, we went out to dinner, we went home, and he didn't even try and murder me at the end of the date. Oh my God, he's a keeper.
We do laugh, but good point. Yes,
Grim.
it's a very good, very good point.
I love that he actually cares enough to try and be like, how is this possible? How is this possible? I'm like, and you know what you should do with that how is this possible, reader, is that you should take that and
fucking run.
Tell everybody. Tell your friends. Tell your friends that the bar is so low that they don't have to do a lot.
I don't know. It is kind of baffling because it's like, that's all I have to do. Like it's so low that I'm like, why am I fucking
listen?
That's it.
And think of them and demonstrate that you have listened.
And
that's marriage material right there.
I bet he's clearly, this OP is clearly a decent enough guy. Like he sounds like to do that, and everything he does on from now is going to be golden now. He's going to be fireworks in the sky. My God, fantastic.
Have you got one more to close us out, Tom?
Yes. Elizabeth, in a relationship, are there any acceptable white lies?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
You're just going to answer that. Yes. Full stop.
I know that Zane's like, brutal honesty.
Yeah, nope, be
no white lies. I'm going to pull my mic down. No, the mic is like, nope, gesturing. My mic is up. Yes. And I think that the only acceptable white lies are the ones that are covering something that you're about to surprise them with.
That's it.
Right? So I think like, look, and I've probably told white lies that are not.
No, that's
just
fine.
To cover surprises.
This isn't a courtroom. You're not on the stand. You're not going to be convicted on anything.
But as I have said 50 million times, honesty without tact is cruelty to me.
Sure.
So I think that even I think brutal honesty can sometimes feel like a slap across the face. And so if you need to there we go, the mic's coming down. How do you disagree with me today, Uncle Zane?
Yes.
I don't. I totally agree with you. I felt like you were saying, Zane, brutal honesty, white lies, no. I'm like, no, every relationship is different. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the things you need to communicate with your partner about. I've communicated with my partner because he is a big white lie advocate. Mm-hmm. I am a big no white lie, thank you. Mm-hmm. I want to, if I ask you a question, I want to know what you actually think. I don't want to know what you think I want you to say. And so, I think this is just one of those things. Like I know Liz, if I was going to be in a relationship with you, there would be some things that I could not be 100% honest with you about in the moment, every moment.
Yes.
I would need to pick my time.
Yes.
And I would need to say, hey, I think this is fine. And then come back when you were in a different headspace and go like, when we were talking about this the other day, I've actually thought a bit more about it. Here's what I actually think.
And I would be okay with that. Whenever dating.
So I think being honest with yourself about how honest you're being. Yeah. If you're telling white lies and going like, okay, well that's the truth now.
No.
Right.
You need to be aware that it's a white lie and you've told it for a reason, and be comfortable.
And as long as the truth comes to light, eventually. And that's sort of what I mean about surprises. Like if I'm like, no, I'm not doing that today, babe, and I am doing that because I'm preparing for something nice to do. I think the most common white lies, I'm basing this on zero knowledge or data, are probably, babe, do I look good in this?
Yes, absolutely. It's to get you out the door in a timely fashion.
If somebody says to you, do I look good in this, and they don't look good in this, you say something like, what about the other dress? Or I prefer this one, or it might not suit the event we go to. Don't ever tell them that they look bad, right? You're still getting the truth out in that outfit is not good. But you do not say, this is the honesty without tact is cruelty thing, I mean. Yes. So if you want to be tactful and tell them the truth, steer them towards a different outfit. Tell them that the other one is more flattering. Tell them it doesn't suit the occasion. Tell them that there's a stain on it that you've just noticed. Like, be honest that it's be honest that it's not the best, but in a way that doesn't hurt their feelings, or in a way that doesn't say something about their body which they actually can't change. They can change their clothes. Don't say it makes your butt look big, it makes your hips look big, it emphasizes your tum. Don't talk about that. You can white lie somebody in a way that is truthful.
Yes, but
that's my
honesty should be the policy. Should be. So they are allowed. They do. There is room for them, but just try and be. At the end of the day, try and be honest with your. I
did once lie to a boyfriend about putting extra vegetables in a particular thing because he wasn't eating enough veggies. I feel like that's an okay white lie, right? Because it's benevolent.
That's mothering, isn't it? It's just mothering. Eat your fucking spinach.
He wasn't, and then he was, it's a very big overshare, but he was complaining that he was all backed up, so I started putting more fibre into his food and didn't tell him about it. Because he would have been mad, but I fixed the problem, all right, you guys? That's an okay white lie.
Is that an acceptable white lie, dear reader? Putting food...
No.
Oh, my God. The bun
Zane did
press.
that.
Yes.
I maintain that I did the right thing.
Boy, I hope you knew that he didn't have an allergy to the things you were
secretly
putting in his food.
Yes, I knew he didn't have an allergy.
That could have been a little bit sticky.
Oh, my Lord.
Let us know, readers. White lies in a relationship. What have you told what little white lies? And I'm not talking about blatant lying where we're lying about where you're going and white lies.
Yeah.
It's the seemingly innocent lie. What have you got away with? Not in a Machiavellian way, but I don't know.
Have you ever told a white lie that you committed to so early and it was so little, but now you've been together forever and now you've had to just keep it up forever? And what was that?
Oh, dear.
I want to know that.
Fascinating. That's too.
Okay.
Ooh, that's too fun.
That's all for this week's Quickie.
Yes.
Stay tuned for another Quickie next week because we are on holidays for the foreseeable future. It's probably going to be about 2 months, guys. It's probably going to be about 2 months of Quickies, but we're going to make sure that there is new, fresh, and wonderful content for you every single week of that time. We love you. Thanks for letting us have a holiday.
Yeah.